the girlfriend couldn't resist temptation and got into someone else's car, abandoning the young man just like that. The young man was furious, so he decided to take drastic action and build a Pagani supercar himself to make his girlfriend regret it. The core component of this Pagani supercar was sourced from a second-hand car the young man bought for 500 yuan. Although this second-hand car was in terrible condition, after a test drive, the young man felt the engine could still run normally, and that was enough. Let's get started and see how the young man transformed this dilapidated second-hand car into a top-notch supercar. To build a supercar, the first step is to create a sturdy chassis. For this, the young man brought in several square tubes, carefully measured them, and began cutting them on the cutting machine. After cutting, the next step is assembly, arranging the cut square tubes according to the planned design, and then gradually welding them together. During this period, the distance between each component must be kept precise. Any slight deviation could affect the stability of the chassis. This is a significant test of the young man's welding skills. After welding, the chassis needs to be polished and ground. Use a polishing machine to carefully remove all the rust from the surface of the steel pipes, clearing the way for the upcoming painting work. After a layer of primer is sprayed on the chassis, it can effectively prevent rust and corrosion. Once the chassis is completed, the next step is the core task, removing the engine from the old car and reinstalling it onto the new car's chassis. Here, the hoisting of the engine mainly relies on manpower, and the advantage of having more people is fully demonstrated. However, to ensure the engine works efficiently and smoothly, it must be securely fixed. Therefore, the young man specifically built a mounting bracket for the engine, securing it firmly to the chassis. After completing these tasks, he used his excellent welding skills to construct an engine compartment, ensuring the engine could operate safely and effectively. Of course, the layout of the car's electrical system is also a very complex task, but after the young man's patient work, everything was connected in order. Next, the young man will build the suspension system for the sports car. The suspension system refers to the entire support system composed of springs and shock absorbers between the vehicle body and the tires. The suspension system determines the vehicle's stability, comfort, and safety. At the connection points of the suspension system, they use rubber rings, which allow the vehicle to run more smoothly. Of course, a supercar like a Pagani must have independent suspension to enhance driving smoothness and safety. Next is the production of the brake disc. After a series of cutting, drilling, and welding, the brake disc was made and successfully installed. Next is the installation of the steering system. The steering system from the old car is removed, modified, and then installed onto the new chassis. After completing the chassis and power system, the young man decides to take it for a road test. After a lap, he was quite satisfied. Next is making the car body shell. First, lay panels on the body, then start applying clay on top. However, this is not ordinary soil, but clay similar to plasticine, because clay can be shaped into various forms and is easy to modify. Therefore, clay modeling is an indispensable part of the car design process. After repeated modifications and shaping, the beautiful contours of the sports car have initially emerged. Next, they apply composite glue and fiberglass to the clay model. They use the glue solution to layer the fiberglass onto the car body. After air drying and curing, they achieve the desired car body shell. However, while Pagani uses full carbon fiber, the young man made it entirely out of fiberglass, which is also the most economical method. We must commend the young man for his cleverness and ingenuity. However, this is not the end. Since the first processed car body model was too rough, the young man had to reassemble them, then apply composite glue and fiberglass inside again. After evenly layering and adhering them, a refined shell was soon to be completed. At this point, just place the car body properly, peel off the external fiberglass, and a brand new car body shell is presented before you. The next task is to sand the car body to ensure its smoothness and gloss. During this process, sandpaper of different grades is used to sand the body, removing any scratches or unevenness at the seams. After that, a layer of primer is sprayed on the body to enhance its corrosion resistance. The next task to be done. It involves combining the car body and chassis, then crafting the body parts like the front and rear bumpers and side mirrors, all precisely replicating the real car without any carelessness. For the interior control panel, the clay modeling method and glass carbon fiber wrapping are still used, followed by polishing. The same method is used to create the steering wheel, seats, and door panels. In short, the focus is on lightweight design. Of course, the Soul headlights and street blasting exhaust system bought online also need to be installed. After installing the windshield, a rain test is essential to effectively check the seal around the windshield. Next, the interior of the car is fully covered with leather to enhance the luxury and comfort of the vehicle. Each component here is wrapped by hand, focusing on meticulous craftsmanship. After the interior is completed, the final step is to paint the exterior of the car. Before painting, the car body surface must be sanded smooth and clean, then primed again. After curing, it is sanded and polished to improve the smoothness and saturation of the car body. Next, the areas that do not need painting are covered, and the car paint is mixed according to the original factory ratio. Then, the color paint is applied to the car body.
Here, two colors are used, black paint and blue paint, which is also Pagani's classic combination. After completing the black paint on the car body, spray blue paint on the body.
Next, the young man applies a layer of clear coat to make it look more glossy and full. At this point, the Pagani is already exuding an imposing presence. Then, various components are installed, such as the headlights, rear view mirrors, front lip, and bumper, all restored to their original positions. With the installation of the last 4 brand new wheels, this Pagani Supercar, which took a year and a half to build, is finally complete. With this Pagani, the young man became the most stylish guy in the village. His ex-girlfriend, upon seeing it, slapped her thigh in regret.